Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing something a little bit different and really fun. I'm going to be going through with you the top 10 boys and girls names that I love, but we will not be using. So if you are new to my channel, I am a mom of one little boy named Holden. He is 3.5 years old, and I am currently, at the time of filming this, 33 weeks pregnant with our second son. So we do know that it is going to be another boy, and we have finally, as of like 2 days ago, picked out a name. We went through a few, and like there was actually, I think, 2 or 3 that we were like, okay, this is going to be the name, this is it, and then we ended up changing it. So, which was really different because with our first, we had kind of picked the name right off the bat, like pretty much as soon as we found out we were pregnant, we had picked the name. And then I kind of started having second thoughts about it about halfway through the pregnancy. Once we found out it really was a boy, I kind of started having second thoughts about it. But my boyfriend loved it so much, and anything else he was like, nope, I don't like it, I don't like it. So we ended up sticking with Holden. But this time it was a lot harder for us to settle on a name. There were quite a few that we both kind of liked, but not very many that we really loved, that we both really loved. So anyways, I'm gonna start off with the girls because we're not having a girl, and we probably never will have a girl. Boys run huge on my boyfriend's side of the family, so even if we do have another baby, which we might possibly, we'll see, it most likely probably won't be a girl either, but I can dream. Anyways, the number one name for a girl that I love but will never get to use because my boyfriend hates it is Harlow. I love that name so much. It is my favorite name, hands down, easily. And my boyfriend does not like it at all. He says it reminds him of the word harlot, and I'm like, that's not even a word that we use in today's vernacular. So, but no. He says we will never ever name a girl Harlow, which makes me sad because I love that name so much. The next name is Hannah, and also that is a name that I really like. My boyfriend doesn't really care for it as much. Last time when we were pregnant with my other son, he didn't mind that. Like before we found out that it was a boy, Hannah was kind of on both of our lists, but this time around he did not like it at all. The next name that I really love is Lucy. I think it is so sweet. I think it's such a sweet name. Super cute. Once again, most of these on here my boyfriend doesn't like, which is why I'll never get to use them. But you know, you never know. Maybe by the time, if another one comes around, he might change his mind. Who knows? The next name is the name Aria, and I love this name so much. I first heard it on Pretty Little Liars, and I have always loved the name. But it's become super popular. We both like it. But we kind of wanted to choose names that were not unpopular, but not super popular, if that makes sense. And at least in Canada, that name has become really big over the last few years. It's on like the top 5 lists of all like the baby girl names, so we didn't want to go with something that was too popular. The next name that I really like is Ava. That also kind of goes along with like Eva or Eve. I don't know. I've just always liked those types of names. I'm not sure exactly why, but I think it's really pretty. The next name for a girl is Rowan, and this actually, I first heard of this name in one of my favorite books, The Witching Hour by Anne Rice. The main protagonist's name is Rowan, and it's for a woman. And the only other time I've ever heard that name is actually for men. Like, I've heard it being used as boys' names quite a few times. And my boyfriend doesn't really mind it for a boy, but he does not like it for a girl. And I'm the opposite. I like it for a girl, and I don't like it for a boy. The next name that I really love is the name Audrey. My boyfriend doesn't like it because he doesn't like really old-fashioned names. So, which that one definitely is, but I don't know, just the sound of it. I love the name Audrey. The next name kind of goes along the same sort of thing. My boyfriend thinks it's too old-fashioned, but I love the name Penelope. You could call her Poppy. So cute. The next name, when I brought this up to my boyfriend, he looked at me and he was like, you're joking, right? Like, you cannot be serious that this is actually a name that you would like. And that is the name Snow. He thinks it is just dumb. He's like, that is just a dumb name, and I apologize. If any of you are named Snow or have kids or people in your lives that are named Snow, I think it's a beautiful name. And the next name is the name Noel, and this is a name that I have always really loved, and actually when we were pregnant with my other son, that was my number one name. Yeah, he does not like it either. It was my Harlow for a while, and I really, really loved it, and he does not like it. He says it reminds him too much of Christmas, especially with my name being Holly, and then if we had a daughter named Noel, like, what are we, the Christmas family? Which I can understand also. But those are the 10 names for a girl that I absolutely love but will not be using. And now moving on into the boys' names, and I also want to say really quickly, if you're still here, I would love it in the comments down below if you guys would make guesses as to the name that we actually chose. I think that would be super fun. And if any of you guess it, I'll go ahead and pin your comment, just because that'd be fun. So the first name on my list is the name Sawyer. I love that name. I think it is so cute for a little boy. Once again, boyfriend doesn't like it. He's vetoed it, so I'm probably never going to get to use that one. The next two names are names that we were undecided in between. So for a long time, we had the names narrowed down to these two names, and we were trying to decide between the two. And that is Harrison and Hudson. And I kind of liked the name Harrison more, but I don't like the nickname Harry. And I feel like people will call him Harry. Like if his name's Harrison, he'll probably get called Harry, and I don't like that. And so then I was like, well, maybe we'll go with Hudson. But once again, Hudson is starting to become a really popular name, and I don't want something that's too popular. Also, with both of those names, like Hudson and Harrison, they're so close to the name Holden. And I had people ask me, like, does it have to be an H name? Like, is that your theme? And no, not at all. Like, we're not trying to go for an H theme, and especially like both of those started with H and end with N's, which is the same as Holden. And I was like, we're not intentionally trying to do that. We just happen to like both of those names. So even just having to explain that to people, like, no, we're not like trying to be the H family, you know? So, but we ended up, like I said, we were going back and forth between those for a while. And at one point we had kind of decided probably it's going to be Harrison. And then we decided, maybe it's probably going to be Hudson. And then we were up in the air again. The next name on my list is the name Liam. And once again, that is the only reason why we didn't really choose that one, is because it is so popular. For the past, I think, 5 years, it's been like the number 2 or 3 name, at least in Canada. So it's a very, very popular name, which is kind of weird because I don't think I've ever met any Liams, but apparently it's a very popular name. So I just don't want my kid to be in a class with like 5 other Liams. The next name is the name Noah, and that is a name that I really love. My boyfriend does not like it. He does not like biblical names, or like I said, really old-fashioned names. And he thinks it's just like too biblical for him, which is too bad because I really like that name. But also, once again, it's also really popular as well. The next name is the name Hunter. Once again, starts with an H, so not 100% sure about that. And my boyfriend didn't like it because he's like, why would we name him Hunter? Like, we don't hunt, we don't go out in the woods. I'm like, that has nothing to do with it. But it's so funny. Like, when you start trying to pick out baby names with your significant other, like, you guys will both come up with the strangest reasons to veto a name. Like, that has nothing to do with it. Just because we don't hunt, we can't name our kid Hunter. Like, I love that name. So silly. Next is the name another name that we almost went with, and that is Theodore, or Theo for short. And when we first found out we were pregnant, we both really liked the name Theodore, like to the point where we were both like, this is probably going to be the name. Like, we both really liked it, and it was very early on. And then one night I was laying in bed, and all of a sudden I just like had this epiphany, and I was like, oh my God, my cousin's son is named Theodore. And I was like, we can't use that. That's my cousin's son's name. And I mean, like, granted, we're not super close. We don't see them that often. Like, haven't seen them probably in a couple years. Probably won't see them with this pandemic going on for another couple years. So probably wouldn't be such a huge deal if we did name them the same. But I just feel like it's kind of strange to do, like to you know, name it in the same family. But we kind of kept coming back to that one. to the point where I actually sent my cousin a message and I was like, listen, this is my situation. We both really love this name. How would you feel if we used it? If either you or your girlfriend do not want us to use it, that is fine. We won't use it. No hard feelings. Just thought I'd put it out there. And he said, absolutely, go ahead and use it. Not a big deal. So then we were like, oh, yay, we'll use that. And then as soon as we kind of were like, okay, that's going to be the name, then we were both kind of like, that's not the name, I don't think. So we kind of ended up asking for no reason. I do still really love the name. I think it's really cute, but yeah, it just didn't feel right at the end of the day. Like nothing really felt right. The next name is the name Flynn. I think it is such a cute name for a little boy. And my boyfriend thinks it's an okay name for a little boy, but he's like, it's kind of weird. I don't know if I like it for like an adult. Like you have to think of them when they're grown up as well, which I suppose so, but I still think it's not bad. And the last name on my list of boys' names that I love but we won't be using is the name Aiden. And I have always loved that name. I liked it even like probably early college. I was like, if I ever have a son, I'm naming him Aiden. I really liked it, but I kind of over the years fallen out of love with it as much as I did. And it just wasn't it. It just wasn't the name. Anyways, you guys, so that pretty much wraps up my list of the top 10 boys and girls names that I love but we will not be using. And let me know in the comments down below what you think I ended up choosing for our second son's name. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Thanks for hanging out with me in this fun kind of different video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.